Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. Yes, and because it is a weekend also, so a very logical weekend. Yes, I'm repeating this because I'm trying to help you remember what you need to do on your weekend. Yes, you need to complete all the pending work that you have. You need to relax so that you are able to do the task in the next week properly and a full-fledged practice so that you perform a little better than your previous performance in your test, in your mock test. So you need to come up with a very wonderful week ahead. So for that, you enjoy your weekend with all this work. Yes, so the editorial that we have here today is the protest test. Protest test दो बार words हो गए alliteration हो जाता है इधर. देखते ना, see, you know what happens, what you're reading here, right? You are actually discussing it somewhere in your GK quiz also, and in your GK sessions also. So you can start understanding what is going on around maybe in the country or in the world. So दो तीन articles, you get related to the same topic. So you can actually improve your understanding of the whole matter, and then fine. This is going to improve your reading skills. Ultimately, what do we need? We need to come up with the best interpretation so that we are able to understand whatever we read in a RC and a CR sections. So let's see. And of course, building on the vocabulary. The cancellation of Iran foreign minister's visit to Delhi, where he was scheduled to speak at a flagship foreign policy event organized by a private think tank, as reported by the Indian Express, shows that there is no shortage of thin skinned leaders in the world. The more authoritarian, thinner the skin, it would seem. Minister Hussein Amar Abdullahyan, who was to participate in the Ministry of External Affairs partnered Raisina dialogue, scrapped his visit because of a 2-second video included in promotional material for the event that showed Iranian women cutting their hair during a non-violent protest that began last September. So this was a 2-second video. The reason behind the Iranian foreign minister, right, he actually cancelled his visit. ये reason है. Now, when he accepted the invitation for what is an annual free exchange of ideas between government leaders and foreign and security policy wongs from across the world, Abdullahyan would have surely factored in the likelihood of being questioned about his unprecedented feminist mobilization that continues to roil Iran to this day, despite extreme steps by Tehran to suppress it. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे आ रहा है एक unprecedented means something that has not happened earlier, precede यानी इसके पहले होना. तो ऐसा फेमिनिस्ट मोबिलाइजेशन हुआ है, ऐसा फेमिनिस्ट नॉन वायलेंट प्रोटेस्ट हुआ है ईरान में, which Iran has tried to suppress it. This continues to roil Iran. Now, if Iran is trying to suppress it, then what will be the meaning of roil? Right? It is something that has angered Iran, or Iran is disapproving it, or it is like irritated with what the protest is about and what is happening in the protest, right? So this we can understand the word royal. Wongs, we can understand that these are people who are more than enthusiastic in the policies. ठीक है, या तो policies हैं तो security policy wongs आ गए, enthusiastic people. Factored in का meaning समझ में आ जाता है, taking into consideration. तो ये हो सकता है कि क्योंकि उन्होंने accept किया था invitation काफी पहले, so they would have been prepared for the questions or the likelihood of the questions being asked related to the protest that is going on in their country. तो ये तो उनकी तैयारी थी, मतलब एक्सेप्ट किया इनविटेशन तो ये तो होना ही होगा, ऐसा उन्होंने मान के चला होगा, पर फिर कैंसिल क्यों किया? सो दिल्ली हैज बीन क्वाइट अबाउट द प्रोटेस्ट सो फार. अब तक दिल्ली ने कुछ नहीं बोला है प्रोटेस्ट के बारे में. At the UN Human Rights Council session last November, India was one of the 16 countries that abstain from voting on a resolution for a fact-finding mission on human rights violations committed by the Iranian regime as it tried to suppress the protest. It tried to suppress the protest means human rights violation. ठीक है? It has abstained from. That means it has not said anything. It has been quiet about. तो abstain का meaning समझ में आ गया कि keep away from. Now, an abstention can be interpreted in many ways, but the diplomatic bottom line is that India did not vote against a resolution. It was eventually adopted, the first sign that Delhi and Tehran were not on the same page on this issue. Not on the same page का मतलब होता है not seeing eye to eye. एक और idiom है ये, not seeing eye to eye. Seeing eye to eye would mean to agree. Not seeing eye to eye means disagree. So they were not on the same page. ठीक है, ये पेज 21 की बात कर रहे हो और कोई और जिससे बात कर रहे हो वो पेज 25 की बात कर रहा है. ये लिटरल मीनिंग है उसका, नॉट बीइंग ऑन द सेम पेज. दैट मीन्स not dealing with the same matter or not having the same viewpoint. The refusal by the event organizers to pull the video as demanded by the Iranian foreign ministry is yet another pushback by Delhi. वो नहीं करेगा, is not going to take back the video. So diplomacy works in different ways. Despite the strategic partnership, India-Iran relations have had their share of difficulties, including, now they have had their share of difficulties becomes the point of this paragraph, including 2019 reimposition of sanctions against Tehran by the Trump administration that saw Delhi end a long-standing energy relationship with the country. Unlike how it is continuing to do business with Russia despite the sanction on Moscow in the wake of its invasion of Ukraine. तो इसने ट्रंप ने सैंक्शन लगाया था तो इंडिया ने तेहरान से साथ it ended the relationship there, right? But it did not end the relationship with Russia even after the sanctions were imposed, despite the sanctions on Moscow in the wake of its invasion of Ukraine. Now, India's proximity to the US and Iran's increasing proximity to China have also been a challenge to ties. Last summer, Tehran was among the Islamic capitals that reacted strongly during the Nupur Sharma blasphemy row. Delhi was relieved that Abdullanian did not cancel a scheduled visit at the time, but he did not cancel it at that time. But Iran's readout of his meeting with National Security Advisor A.K. Doval caused some red faces in the government. Red face means embarrassing, shames. In spite of all this, the strategic convergence between the two on issues such as connectivity through Chabahar, terrorism in the region, and Afghanistan, not to speak of a millennial bond, has helped the two sides focus on the big picture and move past their differences, as they will surely do this time. ठीक है, इसका मतलब पैराग्राफ के स्टार्टिंग में उसने कहा था कि यहाँ पे डिफरेंसेस हैं, ठीक है, और काफी समय से हैं, हमेशा होते हैं. So this last part of the paragraph says that see, in spite of all the differences, they have done the few things together. So two sides will focus on the big picture. In सारी चीजों पे उन्होंने कहा strategic convergence between two on the issues such as connectivity to Chabahar, terrorism और अफगानिस्तान वाला. इन issues पे उन्होंने साथ काम किया, keeping all these things aside, right? So this time also it is expected that they are going to do the same. राइट तो ये ज्यादा लंबे समय तक नहीं जाएगा थोड़ा बहुत नाराज है ईरान बट देन इट विल कम बैक टू द नॉर्मल so let's see it was comparatively easy article we have a few words there but before that we'll come up with the main ideas here they are so now here we have this word thin skin leaders हम discussion करेंगे vocab में more authoritarian the thinner the skin यहाँ पे actually the आना चाहिए था the more authoritarian the thinner the skin it would seem ठीक है इसका मतलब जो जितना ज्यादा अथॉरिटेरियन होता है अथॉरिटेरियन इज ऑटोक्रेटिक सिर्फ मैं हूं तो जो जितना ज्यादा अथॉरिटेरियन ऑटोक्रेटिक होता है उतना ज्यादा वो सेंसिटिव हो जाता है तो थिनर द स्किन सो थिन स्किन लीडर्स का मतलब होता है जो बड़े इनटॉलरेंट से होते हैं वो किसी की बात नहीं सुनते हाइपर सेंसिटिव हो जाते हैं इसका ऑपोजिट होता है थिक स्किन्ड so thick skinned leaders are now thick skinned would be like a pachyderm like elephant is a thick skinned animal तो उसको आप कुछ भी करो वो इतना मतलब सेंसिटिव नहीं होता है वो तो वैसे ही थिक स्किन्ड का मतलब होता है अ पर्सन हु इज नॉट वेरी सेंसिटिव टू स्मॉल थिंग्स, सो ही कैन एंड्योर, ही कैन टॉलरेट क्रिटिसिज्म ऑल्सो. सो थिक स्किन्ड उसको बोलेंगे जो टॉलरेट नहीं कर सकेगा, उसको थिन स्किन्ड बोलेंगे. Right, so this is one thing. The more authoritarian, the thinner. That means Iran is a thin-skinned leader. And here, unprecedented feminist mobilization. It continues to roil Iran. Means there is this protest going on in Iran, and the leader is afraid of the questioning, maybe, or he should have been prepared. कि ऐसे questions तो होंगे. But anyhow, he has cancelled his trip. Delhi has not reacted. It has been quiet. Iranian regime is trying to suppress these protests. वो पहले वाले पैराग्राफ में भी आ गया था. And इससे पता चलता है कि that they are not on the same page. That means India and Iran do not see eye to eye. Now, despite this strategic partnership, India-Iran relations have had their share of difficulties. Have had आ जाता है perfect tense. That means we are talking about the past कि हाँ वो हमेशा से कुछ ना कुछ difficulty तो था ही सही. So, in spite of all this strategic convergence, it has helped the two sides to focus on the big picture and move past the differences. This is surely that they are going to do this time also. So, Tehran's disquiet over Raisina dialogue promo reveals the contradictions in India-Iran ties. Right, but then we needed to add one more thing here, that they'll get over it. Why? Because there have always been difficulties, and they have always got over the difficulties. So this time also it is expected that they'll do the same. So it ends on an optimistic tone. Let's see the words now. You can quickly go through this. Wongs are people who are very enthusiastic about policies. So Wongs आया था वहां पे security policies को लेके. ठीक है. Royal is getting angered or irritated or causing it of making it seem like a problem. परेशान हो जाना किसी चीज से वो. Proximity, you all know the word is closeness, the meaning. Now for that we can come up with the word vicinity, but mainly vicinity neighborhood के लिए आती है. Area या territory से relate होता है vicinity. ठीक है. Propinquity is again the closeness. Juxtaposition is also the location. ठीक है. दो चीजें एक साथ जुड़ी हुई हो और काफी पास हो तो उसको juxtaposition कहते हैं. That is the location. It could be two nouns in a sentence also. It could be anywhere, but it is mainly based on location. Vicinity is mainly based on the territory and area. तो हम ये word use करेंगे. Propinquity is the closeness of the phenomena. Blasphemy, irreligious, ये वर्ड कई बार आता है न्यूज़पेपर्स में. Irreligious is the simplistic meaning of it. Profanity is something that is unholy. ठीक है. And desecrate is to make something unholy. Sacrilege is also the same. So you have the root word is secker, right? और इनके ये दो negative words हैं, desecrate and sacrilege. These are two negative words. Blasphemy is a negative word. The opposite of desecrate will be consecrate. I'm writing it here. Right? So consecrate is to make holy and desecrate is the negative word to make something unholy. ये positive word है. ठीक है. Convergence is the meeting point. A convergent rays होती है. अलग अलग डायरेक्शन से आके एक ही पॉइंट पे मिलना जुड़ना. That will be the convergent rays. Right? So it can become meeting. It can become a junction. Thin skinned we have seen, hypersensitive, intolerant and touchy. Touchy यानी छोटा सा थोड़ा जरा सा कुछ बोलो और एकदम से बुरा लग जाता है, तो उसे कहते हैं touchy. Red faces are embarrassed ones. Factored in, they must have factored in the likelihood of something. Factored in means considered or take into account. Abstain from is to keep away from or refrain from. अब देखो thin skin और red faces हमारे पास idioms हो जाते हैं और factored in and abstain from हमारे पास phrases हो जाते हैं. phrases or phrasal verbs, right? So we need to keep getting such phrases and idioms from our articles. This is a very simple one. पर जो भी रीडिंग अभी स्टार्ट किया है या जिसको रीडिंग में थोड़ी सी भी अभी दिक्कत है तो काइंडली गो थ्रू इट अगेन in the hard copy also, or keep the hard copy with you and note down all the difficult words. You will get these difficult words, a few of them at least, somewhere in your passages and all. रीडिंग करेंगे तो ये मिलते हैं वर्ड्स, फिर रीडिंग नहीं करेंगे तो रट्टा नहीं लगाया जाता है वर्ड्स का, राइट? थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग टू दिस. That's all for today. See you next week now. So enjoy your weekend. Thank you and have a logical weekend.